It's once again the anniversary of 9/11, the horrific attacks against America that day. It's deeply impacted our nation. I would say that we've never been the same again. It was a day marked by shock and terror and fear and sorrow and mostly tremendous loss. But the Bible says in Romans 12:15, rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. Let's talk about that today in your morning cup of inspiration. You know, September 11, 2001, 2,977 people lost their lives in New York City and Washington, D.C., and over in Somerset County, Pennsylvania. I'm sure we all remember where we were at. It's just like when John Kennedy was shot and when they landed on the moon. I remember I was just getting ready to pull into Crawford Communications that I was working at in Atlanta, Georgia, when Deb called, my wife called the phone in my car, and she told me that a plane had hit the World Trade Center. And I thought, well, okay, well, that's happened before. I'm thinking of a small plane. When I went in the building, there was activity everywhere, and I went into the Technical Operations Center, and I saw this huge passenger plane go in to the building, and I was shocked, and I said, can you rewind that? And they said, no, that's live. That's the second one. I was amazed. I ran up to our communications area for satellite trucks, and I said, what can I do? And they said, man a phone. Everybody was calling for satellite trucks. But it's embedded. I'll never forget that. It's there. Memories like that shape our lives, our homes, you know, our families, our nation. But it says, rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. Well, who's rejoicing? What about the people that were saved? People that didn't show up for work, people that maybe missed a flight or changed the reservations, were in the other part of the Pentagon. Steve Scheibler was an American Airlines pilot who was scheduled to fly Flight 11 that day from Boston. That was the first plane that went into the World Trade Center, but he was bumped by a senior pilot, Tom McGinnis. Steve said he knows he's living on borrowed time, and in his book, In My Seat, a pilot story on September 10th and 11th, his testimony of God's provision has been used to reach millions for Christ. You know, 2 Corinthians 4:8-9 says, we are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. Even though there's sorrow, there were some people rejoicing that their family members were saved. See, this year at the annual reading, the names of a place like in New York City, they'll name the people at the World Trade Center and the first responders who lost their lives, and a private observance will be for the families in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where United 93 went down. And there'll be a ceremony at the Pentagon to honor the 184 victims there. Thank God we still live in a country where freedom reigns. Our religious liberties are being tested, but we can still seek God and we can still worship Him without fear. God bless everyone. I hope you'll remember the people today that lost their lives and remember their families, mourn for them, and be happy for the ones that are still here and that are serving Christ. We may have lost thousands, but just through Dr. Steve alone, millions are coming to the kingdom. Just think how many are sharing their story that were saved and are sharing that with others today too. God bless you. See you again for another morning cup of inspiration. Have a wonderful day.